If I want the house, I'm tired of renting. And so do I allow my dream home to go away and not be available because of interest rates? Because likely somebody else is going to buy it and they're not going to sell it to me when interest rates go down. They're just going to refinance their mortgage and when the interest rates go down. So that's what I'm doing. Hi, and welcome to Beyond the Paycheck. I'm Paula Christine. So today we're going to talk about home buying. So if you've been listening to my podcast over the last few months, I've talked about wanting to buy a home. So I'm in that process right now. And I put an offer in today on a house. And so hopefully keep your fingers crossed that it is accepted. But I've learned a lot just in the few weeks that I have been going through this process. Now, this is not the first home I have bought. I've actually will be my fifth. But this is the first one where I'm really doing it on my own, and it's, can be a little scary having to make that commitment to that mortgage payment for the rest of my life, because it's likely how long it'll take me to pay it off. Just kidding. It's been an eye-opening experience for me. And so I've learned a few things, and I'm going to talk about those with you today. So the first thing that I learned and has been huge for me is having my mortgage broker and my realtor talk to each other. That has taken a lot off of me, because at first when we started this process, my mortgage broker, Mark, would ask me a question, then I'd have to go to John, my realtor, and get an answer. And then John would ask me a question, and then I would go to Mark. So now they communicate together, so they both get what they're looking for and what they need, and then I don't have to worry about it. So that was huge. And then being able to trust the two of them is very important. I laugh because I always tell them, I said, I know that both of you have got my back, and I believe that they do. I truly believe that they have my best interest at heart. And, I've known Mark forever, and I've just met John, and it's been so nice to have two people I know that's going to watch out for me. Now, I did get pre-approved, which helps when you're going in and putting in an offer, so the seller knows that you're serious, and then they know also that you will qualify for that mortgage. And I get a pre-approval letter every time I put a new offer in, which is telling that homeowner that whatever I'm offering, that I'm pre-approved for that mortgage amount. Now, the offer. So that's been an experience. I've put in really a couple of offers already, and a couple have not been accepted. And so I'm learning some things. So it's important to understand and to work with an experienced realtor about what's going to get that sale for you. So we always believe that we are putting in the best offer for me. It's not about the best offer for the seller. It's the best offer for me. And so like in one of the deals we had, he called me before he put the offer in. He's like, I think we should do this, because this will likely help us get this house that I really wanted, but now that I didn't get it, it doesn't matter to me. But I had to stop and think. I thought the offer that I had put in the beginning was the right offer. And so I kept that offer, because for me, I didn't get the house, but it wasn't because of the offer. I was going up against cash, and cash always wins. Cash is king or cash is queen. But I had to do what was best for me. And every time we've put into an offer in, before I even put the offer in, I go back to my budget. So I reach out to my mortgage broker. What is the tax situation going to look like? And I've learned a lot about taxes. Different counties have different tax structures. And so one county might be higher than another county. And so when you're looking to buy a home, you want to kind of know that before you decide what area that you're going to live in, to know which counties have maybe potentially the lower taxes. And I already knew this from my other home ownership, is that when you buy a home and you look at what the seller was paying in taxes, that is no reflection of what you're going to pay. So for example, and this might sound high to some and might sound low to others, that one of the homes that I looked at, they were paying like $6,000 in taxes. And we looked to see what my taxes were going to be, and it was going to be $8,500 a year for taxes. That's quite a big difference. And that also helped me make a decision, is what the purchase price is and what the taxes look like And did I really want to commit myself to that house payment? Because, taxes always go up. The principal and interest stays the same, but your taxes and insurance likely go up every year. So I had to make sure that if they do go up, I was going to still be comfortable with that payment. Now, in another situation, they were paying $7,000 in taxes and mine were going to only be $4,500. And I learned the reason for that is because they were paying higher taxes because they were renting the property out. It wasn't the home that they were living in, so their taxes were higher. And since it was going to be my home, my taxes would be lower. So that was actually pretty cool to find out. And so when I looked at that home seemed a lot more affordable because the taxes were going to be a lot less. So every time that I look at a house, I get the tax information. I look at what I'm going to consider offering, how much I'm going to put down, and I have him rework all the numbers. Then I go back to my budget to make sure that I can afford it. And also when I'm doing that, I'm also looking at the additional cost that will come with that home. Like for me, am I going to have to hire out someone to cut the grass, or is it something that I can manage on my own? Is the property large or is it small? Like what other things that I'm going to have to do? Will I eventually have to put a roof on it? Or one of the house that I just put an offer in on is just this like yellow, like post-it note yellow. I mean, it's just kind of like nobody wants a post-it note yellow house. I hope I didn't offend anybody, but I don't want that. So I'm talking about having to redo the siding on the house because I just don't like it. So what would that cost look like? And how can will I be able to afford to do that? And then when will I be able to do that? And in that process, I did find out that there's a thing called a renovation loan. So I'm actually going to apply for a renovation loan versus a conventional loan, which as I was considering before with the other properties. But this one, I'm going to do a renovation loan so that I could roll the cost of the new siding and some other things that I want to do to the house into my mortgage. They call that my first mortgage, which I guess is better for me because if I get the first mortgage and then I go out and get a home improvement loan or something like that to pay for the siding, that if I wanted to roll those in eventually, then it's a refinance with cash out, which is different than just refinancing a first mortgage. So I learned all about that. So the renovation loan was the best option for this house because I wanted to make some renovations. And that was also going to increase my potential mortgage payment. So then I had to know, again, going back to the budget. So we kind of estimated what the renovations were going to cost, add that onto the offer, and to see what my payment was going to be. So it's not so simple, I think, sometimes just saying, I'm going to go buy this house. I think at least for me, there's a lot of factors that I consider, and I always go back to my budget to make sure that I can afford this house. So we talked about pre-approval. We talked about checking out the taxes when you're buying a house, working with a team. There's different types of loans. I could look at an FHA loan, conventional, and this renovation loan. Each time I'm ideally going for a conventional loan if I don't do the renovation loans. But for others, it might be an FHA, or if you're a veteran, a VA loan, which is really one of the loans that are not used a lot by veterans. So let's talk about interest rates right now. So most people are, Paula, why are you buying a house? Interest rates are so high. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter. If I want the house, I'm tired of renting. And so do I allow my dream home to go away and not be available because of interest rates? Because likely somebody else is going to buy it and they're not going to sell it to me when interest rates go down. They're just going to refinance their mortgage and when the interest rates go down. So that's what I'm doing. So I think interest rates right now are about 7%. I don't believe they'll stay there. I think within the next year or so, they will go down. Probably not down to the 2s and 3s that we saw prior to that, but likely down to, I think, right around 5, which is huge difference in my mortgage payment, which is one reason why I'm not worried about my mortgage payment so much right now, is because I know eventually that payment's going to go down and go down quite a bit when the interest rates drop. So if you find a home that you like, and don't let interest rates stop you from buying it, just go ahead and buy it and know the fact that you can refinance down the road. So those are the lessons that I've learned from just buying this house. And so hopefully I will be a homeowner really, really soon. And I'm looking forward to being out of my condo and putting some grass under. I live in a high-rise condo and putting some grass under my feet. It'd be nice to be able to walk in grass. So anyway, that's my story and that's my home buying process. If you have any questions or, want to, share with me your home buying story, just email me at paula@paulachristine.com and check out my website at paulachristine.com. And make sure to check out the Budgeting for Groceries free webinar that we have running right now. You can see that on the website. It's about 45 minutes, but it will really help you get your groceries and dining out, your food costs under control, and then give you 21 tips to cut that grocery bill. Anyway, thanks and have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.